Oh, finally! Why couldn't this have been the Steve Jobs movie that we got 2 years ago? Oh wait, because that one wasn't written by Aaron Sorkin, that's why. Steve Jobs stars Michael Fassbender, Kate Winslet, Seth Rogen, and Jeff Daniels. Is directed by Danny Boyle, written by Aaron Sorkin, and basically chronicles Steve Jobs' life throughout 3 product launches and his relationship between several important people, including Jobs' daughter, Steve Wozniak, John Scully, and Joanna Hoffman. So this movie has been marketed as a biopic, another biopic of Steve Jobs, when that's actually incorrect, because the movie doesn't really go through the entire history of Steve Jobs' life. In fact, it's only 3 scenes throughout the entire movie, it being the Macintosh launch, the launch of the Next Box, and then the launch of the iMac. So it's very odd that a movie that's about someone as iconic as Steve Jobs would only take place in 3 time periods and not span the whole life. It's really more of a character study about who Steve Jobs is and his relationship with all these people that are either close or have helped him along the way. And this thing is fantastic, I gotta say. Michael Fassbender plays Steve Jobs, which, sure, unlike Ashton Kutcher, he may not look like Steve Jobs, but he definitely did a much better job than Ashton Kutcher. Michael Fassbender manages to make Steve Jobs appear like this gigantic asshole, which apparently he was. But unlike the Ashton Kutcher one, he has some redeeming qualities about him, particularly near the end, even though you kind of look at him and want to slap him in the face for being so egotistic. And I mentioned the other actors in the movie, Jeff Daniels, Kate Winslet, and Seth Rogen. When you look at Seth Rogen, you're like, one of these actors doesn't quite belong with everyone else. But Seth Rogen as Steve Wozniak he's fantastic. Seth Rogen, we've been so used to seeing Seth Rogen play a stoner in all of these comedies that we really never get to see what he can do as an actor, and here I think he's great. And then obviously Jeff Daniels and Kate Winslet are going to be really great also. And I love how all these characters gets their time to have this one-on-one confrontation with Steve Jobs. And, I mean, the dialogue definitely helps. Again, it's Aaron Sorkin writing, who wrote The Social Network and has done stuff like, he co-wrote Moneyball, he's done The Newsroom, West Wing. So this guy, when it comes to really fast-paced, snappy dialogue and smart dialogue, nobody does it best like Aaron Sorkin. And along with these great actors and the direction from Danny Boyle, it's really an entertaining movie. It's one of the most well-paced movies I've ever seen, because the movie goes on for 2 hours, and yet it moves by so fast and you're so invested in the movie that when it was over, I'm like, did that feel like it was an hour long? Because it's only 3 scenes, and that's just, I've never seen a movie that goes for 2 hours but moves so fast, or you're so invested by it that it feels like 1 hour. That's a major accomplishment right there. And I also love how these 3 events are filmed differently. I was at a Q&A for this movie with Danny Boyle, Aaron Sorkin, Kate Winslet, Seth Rogen, and Jeff Daniels, and the composer for the film. And Danny Boyle said that since the movie is practically 3 scenes, he filmed them all in different formats. Like, the first scene with the launch of the Macintosh was shot on 16mm film, which I was like, this doesn't look too good. Why is it like this? And then that makes sense, because he wanted to give it a older look. And then the launch of the Next Box was filmed at 35, and then the launch of the iMac was filmed in digital. And similar to how the technology of all these Steve Jobs inventions advances, so does the way the movie's filmed. So I thought that was pretty cool. I don't really think I have anything negative, although I really wasn't wowed. I didn't go, oh my god, that was so incredible. But it is a fantastic movie, I will say. Again, the dialogue's great, the way it's filmed and directed is fantastic. All your actors do a really great job, and I love how, despite Steve Jobs acting like an asshole, Michael Fassbender does a great job at showing some humanity in him, especially the scenes between Jobs and his daughter, who's played by a couple of actresses because the movie spans throughout 3 events. And that chemistry between Fassbender and those actresses who play Jobs' daughter is really believable. That's the point where you see the humanity in Steve Jobs. And it's just absolutely fantastic. It's one of the things that helps make him more of this human than the icon that a lot of Mac people see him as, or as this giant genius. Something that Ashton Kutcher could not do in that other Steve Jobs movie. And whereas the Ashton Kutcher movie was one of the worst movies I saw that year it came out, this one, depending on how the rest of the year goes, it could make my best of list, but I'm not holding my breath for that. But anyway, it is a fantastic movie that is worth seeing in your lifetime. It's really good. I see a lot of Oscar attention given to this movie in the future, mainly for screenplay and probably for Best Actor, probably Best Picture. We'll see what happens, but Steve Jobs is a movie you should definitely check out. And that's my review for Steve Jobs. Leave a comment and tell me what you thought of the movie. If you've seen it, what did you think? Like, subscribe, share me with your friends. Don't forget to check out my official website, therealmrrobinson.com. And don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, SoundCloud, and Periscope. This is The Real Mr. Robinson telling you there's only one.